legislation in Europe, and we're seeing in the US. If brands are to make a claim in terms of sustainability on their garments, they will need to have traceability and credible certification in order to make that claim. So traceability and transparency is no longer optional for this sector. We also know, and something I firmly believe, that with traceability and transparency comes accountability. I've been fortunate enough to host CEOs of FTSE 100 companies into cotton farms in India. And it is transformational when you take the CEO of a company and they meet a farmer in their supply chain. They've described it as life-changing for them. And so for us, this transparency is not just about tracking and tracing garments, it's about changing how business operates. And as part of that, we can look at difficult issues like human rights due diligence. We can also look at supply chain resilience, and I will talk a little bit more about that later. And what we find is that direct connection with each step of the supply chain. And just to give you some stats from our own system called TraceBell, which is our proprietary platform, as you can see, we have a number of supply chain partners registered, so over 600, 1.2 million metric tons of seed cotton has been connected, and that equates to almost 1.4 billion t-shirts in equivalent cotton usage. So as you can see, we have a platform with a QR code that can connect that t-shirt right back to the farm level, and already having significant impact in the sector. So what have we learned on our journey on traceability? It is about people, and we're not successful on traceability unless we have the support of the community in the supply chain, whether it be the ginners, the spinners, or the manufacturers, as they have to participate and enter data. We also need the brands to drive that need and that accountability as well. We also feel it's about building effective partnerships on the ground and really having people that understand how the cotton system works. And I think as we talk about traceability and we talk about these systems, they are not the destination, they're the tool for us to improve our cotton supply chain for the future and really think about our future needs. And I'd like to just talk a little bit about what we're seeing as we understand this cotton sector and what we're hearing from that supply chain. Each year we undertake a materiality review with around 100 stakeholders, and that includes farmers, ginners, spinners, manufacturing and brands. And we ask them what's material to them, what's important. And we can see, and Dr. Kranthi, you'll be pleased to see that soil health is their #1 concern, followed by health, hygiene and safety. So I think some concerns still around COVID and the impact COVID has had. Cotton market price, and we know the fluctuation. We're just seeing that in India at the moment, a fluctuation in the market price is difficult for the sector, and a lack of resources and rights for women coming through. So really covering social, economic and environmental issues. I was fortunate enough on Thursday to meet with some women from our Self-Employed Women's Association project that we work with along with Primark, and they shared with me their concerns about climate change. And we're really seeing in India this year, we're seeing cyclones, we're seeing excessive rain, and it's really having a very big impact in terms of income, in terms of workload, and also in terms of their health and their mental well-being. So as we look to the future, we're really beginning to see the impacts of climate change on this often fragile supply chain. And do read our